Guys, I am really excited to be bringing you this highly requested video of a case study of a recent client that just finished her weight loss journey. She's lost a total of 11 kilos. The other day we miscalculated it at 10.7 but worked out it was exactly 11 kilos on the nose and a total of 13 centimeters off her waist. And she has gone from this to this. Now, a little bit of a backstory on Jasmine before I show you the process that we took, the calories that she ate day by day, the weight, or her weight, and what happened to her weight during the process from start to finish. Now, Jasmine started working with me after she completed my first 2020 5-day free fat loss workshop. I run 3 a year. This was the first one for 2020. She then, after that, joined my 12-week group coaching program that started on February 3rd with a main goal to lose 10 kilos. Now, basically, she wanted to lose fat, she wanted to gain muscle, and she wanted to learn how to do it all by herself. She was a serial yo-yo dieter, like most people out there, okay? She was stuck on low calories during the week, which would result in binge eating on the weekend. Now, she struggled to stick to any kind of eating plan long term, okay? She was looking for something that she could stick to long term, something that wasn't just a part of an 8-week challenge. She wanted a lifestyle change where she could feel healthy, where she could be a really good role model for her kids, where she didn't feel restricted, where she could eat out with her family, where she could eat meals day to day with her family that didn't involve these crazy restrictive diets. She wanted to actually feel toned, okay? She wanted to feel muscular. She was able to achieve a really skinny feeling from restrictive diets and loads of cardio in the past, but she had never been able to achieve that toned or muscular look before, which she did. She ended up achieving this. Now, Jasmine came to me eating just over 1,700 calories on average. In the past, dropping her calories low was something that she struggled with and she wasn't able to maintain. So that wasn't a path that I was prepared to take her on. So instead, we actually did what we call a reverse diet. I'm going to share that process with you guys in a tick. Now, this was to really ultimately help with her adherence levels, okay? Feel like she was not restricted and minimize the chances of binging on the weekend, okay? That is something that a lot of people struggle with when you go into a low-calorie diet, is you struggle with adherence levels. So we wanted to remove that. She had 2 goals. I was going to say one main goal, but 2 goals. She had a weekly calorie target to hit along with a daily protein target. Outside of that, she was able to eat with flexibility and eat in a way that wasn't restrictive with no diet rules. This meant that she could eat pizza if she wanted pizza. She could have ice cream if she wanted ice cream, so long as she hit that weekly calorie target and that daily protein target. What she actually found was she was eating meals with her family again. She wasn't afraid to eat out. She could have a glass of wine if she wanted to. Date nights was on the card again, okay? And because there was no restriction or crazy diet rules, she wasn't binging anymore, okay? Now, while her main goal was to lose 10 kilograms right from the get-go, one of the most important parts of having a coach is the coach is leading you down the right path to your goal, okay? One that is achievable, one that is also somewhat enjoyable, okay? You don't want to be hating life every single day. You don't want whatever path you take taking away from your quality of life, okay? Most importantly, one that you can actually maintain long term. But more on that later, because I want to get in to show you guys the process now. Into the nitty gritty, guys, some of the data that you guys wanted to see. So just for a little bit of context, over here on the right, this is data from my app. So all of my clients have access to an app where we keep their training program in, and we also have all of their data so that we can see things like this. This is really important to be able to monitor and watch along the way so that if we do need to make adjustments, which is in a lot of cases very, very necessary because everyone is very individual, we've got this data here to combine all together and to create I guess, a plan moving forward if something isn't going to plan, or in Jasmine's case, it did essentially go to plan what we were hoping. This over here on the left-hand side is a nutrition strategy, also something that all of my clients get. I'm not going to share with you the weekly wins tracker because I feel like that is probably a little bit private, and I don't want to share Jasmine's private information with you guys. But basically the weekly wins tracker is so that my clients can share with me how they're feeling strength-wise, mood-wise, digestion-wise, and any other important notes that they need to tell me on a weekly basis so that I can paint an entire picture with a lot of data. So we don't just follow the weight graph and, as you can see, just this as an example over here, I saw before a massive weight spike from 73 to 75.8 in the course of 3 days, which most people would absolutely freak out over. We don't go off just weight, because if we did that, then we would probably make an adjustment that's unnecessary based off just a spike. We're looking for trends, but I'll talk about that in a moment. So the nutrition strategy is basically a little bit of a blueprint or a prediction. It's definitely not a crystal ball prediction. It's more of a calculated prediction of where we're going to go with calories based off where you're starting at. So Jasmine came eating just over 1,700 calories quite comfortably with a goal to lose 10 kilos. Just a little bit over 10 kilos was her main goal. And then that way I can show her what it is going to take to get there in terms of how low we're going to have to drop your calories and also how long it is going to take to get there, because that often will change somebody's goal. If I tell you, okay, you have to lose, you're going to lose 10 kilos and it's going to take you eating 700 calories, well, then you might say to me, well, hang on a minute, I don't like the sound of that, and I don't think that that's something that I'm going to be able to adhere to. So that's why this is really, really important, working out maintenance calories and then going from there. With Jasmine starting on 1,700 calories, I decided that just due to her dieting history and her, serial yo-yo dieting history as well, that it wasn't a good idea to start on a cut, and it didn't give us much room to play with. So I decided to start increasing her calories, like I mentioned before, to help with adherence, and then just eliminate the binge eating on the weekend, which also helped with her weight loss. So during this phase, whilst we were improving on adherence, and also, a big part of a weight loss phase or embarking on a health and fitness journey is self-belief and knowing that you can do that. By improving her adherence, she was proving to herself that she could stick to this and it was something that she could maintain. So sometimes it is a good idea to embark on a reverse diet journey, even if it, is going to potentially take a little bit longer, which is what we did. So Jazzy started on the 3rd of February. Her weight was actually 82.8. I've just got it at 82.5 for round numbers in here, 1,800 calories, and we slowly increased her calories by 50 calories a week up until we got to 2,300 calories. And then we sat there for 2,300 calories for a couple of weeks before then embarking on a cut. Now, if we come over to her weight, you'll be able to see this was the start of her journey, and it's quite crazy. This was her reverse diet phase. So all of here until we get to here, and then this is her weight cut phase. So it looks like a lie detector. It's quite smooth sailing until we get to the weight loss phase, and then it's crazy, which is very, very normal. Okay, so we started her weight cut phase on the 4th of May. Now, just for a little bit of context here, Jasmine worked with me for a 12-week program up until the 27th of April, which was the day that we finished. And she hadn't even entered a cut phase with me yet. She decided to stay on with me for a further month, which took her through her first little cut phase and took her up to a diet break. So every 3 weeks, you'll see that there is an increased calorie number, and that is just a diet break. Now, what a diet break is, well, it serves two purposes. Every 3 weeks, on the 4th week, we'll bring calories back up to an adjusted maintenance level. And what I mean by adjusted maintenance level is she was roughly maintaining her weight on 2,300 calories on the 27th of April. That is her maintenance calories. Now, as you lose weight, it's normal for your total daily energy expenditure to come down because you've lost weight. So your maintenance levels are now no longer 2,300 calories. They're adjusted. So 2,200 was her adjusted maintenance calories. And that serves two purposes. One is a reprieve from dieting to help with adherence level. And two, it also helps the negative effects of metabolic adaptation as well. It has shown to help with that. So that's what that is for. And then we reduce calories again, because what you see is after roughly 3 or so weeks, you start to see your metabolism adapting to the calories that you're eating, and you enter essentially a plateau. So it's important that we continue to drop calories. Now, we continue to do that right down until 1,500. Jasmine was actually going to stop on 1,600 calories and decided to push for a little bit more, to push down to 1,500. And once she got to the 1,500 calories, she decided that, hey, I'm not liking this. I'm not liking the way that I'm feeling. She was starting to have, the negative effects of dieting that comes with it's a natural thing that comes with dieting. Okay, so lack of energy, tired, thinking about food all the time, excessively hungry, all of that kind of stuff, which in turn was affecting her quality of life, and she decided to pull out, which we had mapped out her to pull out by that time. It was good that she made that call herself. So Jasmine completed the back end of her cut on her own, which is essentially what I aim to teach all of my clients. Okay, so my aim is to always educate my clients in a way that they can do this on their own. There's no point in me just mapping out the roadmap, I guess, without teaching you the hows and the whys and all of that. So she was able to essentially do this on her own. Now you can see that by the time she started her cut, it was a crazy, like I said, lie detector test. You can see crazy spikes here, which I mentioned before. Now, had Jasmine, I guess, not worked with a coach and she had gotten to this point where she saw her weight spike from 73.6 to 75.8 in the space of 3 days, which is the same weight a month prior, exactly the same weight a month prior, right? Can you imagine actually if you were somebody who weighed yourself once a month and you weighed yourself on the 15th of June, you didn't weigh yourself down here, and then you had this crazy spike and you weighed yourself on the 14th of July and you thought, oh my gosh, I haven't lost weight. But look at all this in between. She actually had, and then only to see her weight come back down again. And then she finished on the 28th of July before she's now back into her reverse diet at 73 kilos, which was our predicted weight at the end here. 73 kilos. Her waist has come down from 98 centimeters all the way down to 85, which is a total of 13 centimeters weight loss. So, like I said before, this is the app that we use. This nutrition strategy also helps when it comes to protein, carbs, and fats. My clients only have to adhere to a weekly calorie target and a daily protein target. Carbs and fats, I let them choose where they want them, but this is a guide only. And then we've got all of this other amazing data, including, other measurements as well, but also we track sleep, steps, all of that kind of stuff to help paint a proper picture. So like I touched on before, while your goal might be to lose 10 kilos and you want to lose that now, and hearing that it might take you 6 months or even more to achieve that goal, it is hard to hear, okay? And at first you might think, I can lose 10 kilos in an 8-week challenge. Firstly, if that was the best way to do it, if that was the way that time and time again would help you see long-term sustainable results that made your life your best life, help you enjoy holidays, help you enjoy meals with your family, even drinks, you probably wouldn't be watching this video. Now, analogy time, because you guys know, if you know me already, you know that I love a good analogy. Now, if you were in Brisbane and you wanted to get to Sydney, you've got two options: one, to drive; two, to fly. Obviously, flying seems like the best way, okay? It's faster, it's probably cheaper, and you'll get there very quickly. Whereas driving seems like it's going to take a little bit longer. There's going to be speed humps, traffic lights, stop signs. So it makes sense to fly, yeah? But what you might not realize is the vehicle. You're not on a commercial plane. You're probably in a helicopter. So you take off, you head towards Sydney, and then you realize you're not going to make it. You're going to run out of fuel, so you have to turn back, land, and then refuel, okay? And then you take off again, headed towards your destination. And again, this isn't sustainable. You're not going to make it to your destination, okay? So you give up, you go home, you land, okay? Back to wherever it was that you started. All while this is happening, the car is consistently moving towards Sydney, okay? There's fuel stations, there's cafes, there's towns along the way so that you can drop in, grab a bite to eat if that's what you want, and you can keep going, okay? Yes, there will be speed humps and traffic lights and sometimes even a little bit of congestion, but you'll get there, okay? You're constantly moving towards your destination. And before you know it, what seemed like a really long journey, because it was actually a journey that was enjoyable. You had road trip songs along the way, okay, and you saw the signs that was telling you that you were getting closer to your destination. You'll get there. You'll end up being there, okay? It was sustainable and it was enjoyable. So what might have seemed like a longer option to start with generally becomes not only the faster option, but in a lot of cases, it's in fact the only viable option to get you to your goal or destination. The helicopter is the binge and restrict cycle, okay? It seems like it's the best option now, but the vehicle or your body simply isn't capable of sustaining it, okay? The helicopter isn't capable of sustaining 200 kilometers an hour for 5 hours. It runs out of fuel, okay? Now, this is the same as most of us are not capable of sustaining 1200 calorie diets and endless cardio sessions. Now, some people, in fact, can actually achieve this, okay? Some people can do the cardio classes and grow muscle and eat quite a lot of food and still lose fat, okay? But they have a different vehicle. They're potentially hyper responders or athletes, okay? There's a very small percentage of people that can do this, okay? And they're like the equivalent Boeing 747, the commercial airliner, okay? But the majority of us, we don't have a 747, okay? We have a helicopter. And what works for this very small percentage of people doesn't mean that it's going to work for you or me, which is where a lot of the confusion comes from. They are the exception, they are not the rule. So guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I am announcing or about to announce in a couple of months' time, I'm running my final free 5-day Fat Loss Forever challenge on September 7th. I'm going to pop the link in below so that you can read about it. And if you'd like to join, please come along. It's all about sustainable fat loss, getting rid of the yo-yo diets, and I'm teaching you how to set up your long-term sustainable fat loss strategy. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a fantastic week.